Every seller is asking their real estate agent the same question this week. You want to know what it is? I'll tell you. So we've gotten to the time of the year in November when the market generally cools down from a transaction standpoint. Just not as many people want to move during Thanksgiving and during the holidays. And so you see less buyer activity than you do the rest of the year. And that's been true basically every year. And so right now, if there's a house on the market and the seller hasn't sold it, so it's on the market, they want to sell it, but they haven't, you know what they're asking their real estate agent? They're asking, should we wait until the new year to sell this house? Should we take it off the market, so pull the listing down, and then remarket it in the new year? Because typically in the new year, you have more buyers come into the market, and that often starts pretty early in the year because there's just something about the calendar year. Hey, it's a new year. My New Year's resolution or my goal for the next year is to buy a house. And people can do that pretty quickly, right? I mean, they really only need to get pre-approved, get with their real estate agent, go out to look at houses. They can do that in week 1 or week 2 of the new year. And so you often see an increase in buyer activity in the new year, and that does elevate through the spring selling season. The whole spring selling season thing is not a myth. Actually, almost every year, more houses are sold in the spring and summer than at other times of the year. So what does this question mean for you? Should I take this house off the market and wait until the new year? Well, if you're a buyer, man, now can be a really great time. And if the only reason you say you want to buy a house in the near future, the only reason you're waiting is just the calendar to say 2023, you might want to think about doing it right now. Because the reason people are thinking about taking their house off the market is not because they think, oh, we're about to sell this at full price. It's because, oh, we're worried we're not going to sell this until next spring. So why would we even try? I think people might be a little bit more motivated to take a lower offer or take an offer that's not as good to sell it now instead of selling it in the new year. This is especially true if you see vacant houses, right? If someone's living in a house, they've got some cost to be there or some cost to live, whether they're renting or paying a mortgage. But when a house is sitting empty, that asset is not generating any income for someone. It's a cost. It's a negative. So what do you think? Someone would take an offer now, maybe at not quite the price they were hoping for, to avoid having it sit on the market or take it off the market and relist it in the new year? So don't let this pass you by. Here's my advice. If you're thinking about buying in the next 2, 3, 4 months, why not look and see if there's something good right now that you might be able to get a deal on, get a better price on, instead of waiting until the new year? Because I'll tell you what, I'm not making this up. The first week of January is one of the busiest weeks of the year for real estate agents because so many people reach out and say, hey, one of my goals for 2023 is I want to buy a house. And so those people can come into the market. They start looking. The spring market started really early in Atlanta the last 3, 4 years, and that might happen again next year. But right now, you've got sellers who are nervous. Take advantage of it if it's the time for you to buy a house. And we'd love to help you navigate that. Reach out like so many of you do. I'll see you guys again next week.